Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all doing very well. I'm back in Ireland for the next...
Ireland.
I'm in Northern Ireland.
You remember Jimmy Nicol, don't you? United.
Man United, didn't he?
Yeah, it was the woman I work. Well, the woman who does our community champion stuff at Asda. It's just his brother. I didn't. Didn't realise. She said she used to brag. She didn't brag about him when he was playing, but now, obviously these days, she's always quick to tell everyone about him.
He must be knocking on Jimmy Nicol.
Yeah,
He must be as old as you.
Not that old, mate. Come on,
Jimmy Nicol.
He's older than me. Must be.
Born in 56.
Yeah, 3 years older than me.
Blimey, you're a babe of the 50s, man. I always thought you were a babe of the 60s.
Anyway, we digress. We don't want to mention Manchester United, do we? Something about that, guys.
Yeah, guys. I always say this up front. I'm in a B&B at the moment. Internet's not so good. I'm using my phone as a hotspot, so hopefully we don't glitch too much and pixelate or
you probably can't see my two new shirts in the background there.
Don't tell me where you got them, DHK.
Quiet.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get them from them, actually. No, I've tried someone else, but I will probably go back to the one you just said.
Yeah. They look all right, mate. They look all right. Anyway, we've blabbed on for a couple of minutes. We're here to talk about some transfer news over the last day or two. Some potential outgoings, incomings, I'm sure there's some BS, not from us, but from others. I've always said, there's very few sources you can trust on transfers. Most of them are just rubbish, just either made up or exaggerated. In some cases, it's for the purposes of getting someone a better deal at their current club. So they're linked to, someone seems to mention it, that they're linked to City, and not too soon afterwards, they sign a new contract at the club that they're at for a bit more money. So let's have a chat about a few players. Okay, obviously, seems like Stefan Ortega's got a new deal. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, obviously, we believe it's some sources are saying a 2-year deal. Well, 2-year extension, but it's not. It's a 2-year deal because he leaves in 26, of course. So summer of 26. So that'll keep him there for another couple of years. Most people are now saying Edison's on his way, or Edison will soon sign a new contract to get whoever you believe. But Ortega's not daft. What'll that take him to? What is he, 33? Is he at the moment? Something like that?
I thought he was younger than that, mate.
Is he 31?
I thought he's 31 or 32. I will check for you, mate. I will check. He is 31.
Yeah, so that'll take him to 33, which is still young for a keeper, isn't it? So still potential. Saudi Arabia, who knows?
The question is on him, is it just so that City can sell him maybe at the end of next summer and get money for him? By having a 2-year contract, his value goes up. If you've got 1 year left, for most players or many players, the value drops. Because because the club knows they can hang on for a year, and sometimes they just get rid of them. But he's got a 2-year deal. Is that just so that we can make sure we get some good money for him, or do you think he's actually going to stay?
You would hope it's more a reward for what he's done this season, I suppose. At the end of the day, you would hope that gives him a bit of security. Yeah. You hope City do things the right way, don't you? We probably don't always do it the right way, but we hope that's the positive side of it.
Absolutely. Another one we're going to talk about is Sergio Gomez. Now, he's been linked to Real Sociedad. That's by our friend Fabrizio Romano. Well, call him our friend. We don't know him, really. But what do you think about this potential deal? It seems like, for what Fabrizio is saying is that he's going to leave this summer, and Real Sociedad are discussing it with City. Do you think, A, do you think he'll go? And B, do you think he's had a chance at City?
Well, he's been stagnating, mate, and that's the problem with Gomez. I think it was a Champions League game he got sent off in that time. I think since then, he's just never really had a crack, has he? Let's be honest. So obviously, you know what Pep's like. Once you're out of his mind, and I think he's played decent international performances. I've seen one or two since where he's played at a good level. But I think we mentioned off air, and you mentioned now that left-hand side with Gvardiol. Yeah. What options has he got? I don't think there's any doubt that he won't be staying. It's a matter of finding someone who wants him, and I think he'll do a good job because I don't think he's such a bad player. I think he had a chance, and he sort of, you know, the trouble is if you do have a bad game, it sort of sticks with you a bit at City, doesn't it? Yeah. Sort of other places it might get forgotten about, you know, if you can bounce back, but you can't bounce back at City because he doesn't play them for a while, so you get forgotten anyway. So I think it had to happen just for Gomez's sake as well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's only featured, I think, half a dozen times this season, got 1 assist. He's actually played a little bit in the Champions League. So I think he's had 6 league games, 5 Champions League games, a game in the Club World Cup, and a game in the Carabao Cup. It's not a lot. And I suspect most of them as subs for a few minutes. It's not.
He didn't make a Premier League start. He just did 6 appearances, came on a sub very late on.
Yeah, it's certainly not enough for a kid who's 23 years old. He'll be 24 in September. So
of course,
he's knocking on.
He's training with good players, but you know that doesn't mean anything, does it? He's got to have that match practice at that level, and that's what he needs. And all credit to him. I wish him all the best because I think he's half decent. He's just been a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's unfortunate to be at City at a time where Pep's gone with Gvardiol, and give Gvardiol some credit. He's improved towards the end of the season in the attacking third, and that just makes it much more difficult for Gomez. And if you want a proper defender at left back, you're going to look at someone like Nathan Ake a bit ahead of Gomez. So Gomez is just blocked out. So I can see that move happening. I'm not sure what the money's going to be. I can't believe.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what do you think money wise? What were you talking? What did he cost us?
Honestly, I have no idea what it cost us.
Yeah, it's got to be 15, 20 million tops, isn't it? It's not going to get any more than that. I wouldn't have thought. He's a young player though, so perhaps to squeak a bit more, perhaps get a bit. Real Sociedad are the big spenders.
I don't think they're going to spend 20 million, mate. I'll be really surprised. We got him for 11 million. Well, according to Sky Sports, we got him for 11 million. So if we get 15, I think we're happy with that. Yeah. You know, his book value is probably
we'll make a profit at 10, won't we?
Oh yeah. Even if we sell him for 10 million, we'll make a book profit, which is, to be honest, they're not bothered about the cash profit. They're looking at the book profit, and he'll be in the books at something like 5.5 million, I reckon. If we can sell him for 10 or 12, it's a nice profit added to the Taylor Howard-Bellis money we're getting. It all just adds up. So yeah, if he goes, I wish him well. It's a shame, but it is what it is. You know, with City, there's been noises about Bruno Guimaraes now. Apparently, from what I read a few weeks ago, he had a £100 million buyout clause. So why people say we're going to buy him for less than that, I don't know.
I've seen 65 million somewhere quoted.
Yeah. I saw on another City channel, I didn't watch it, I just saw the headline, 68 million quid, and City are negotiating. When I said talking about BS, that just smells of BS. That it just 68 million quid isn't enough, but that's for another video actually, because in terms of some clubs need to get rid of players, and Newcastle might be one of them, to either conform with the profit and sustainability rules or to allow them to go out and buy 2 or 3 more players, because they'll make a big profit on Guimaraes if they sell him for 70 or 80 million. Big profit. That may sort out their PSR issues. A lot of clubs are going to be in that situation, but I'll talk to you about that another time. So keep your eyes out for that video, guys. But would you want Guimaraes at City? Do you think what difference is he going to make to us? That's the question.
Is he a number 6, do you think? On number 8? 6?
I think he can play either.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously, you've got to look
attacking.
Well, I think it's sort of you think of Kovacic being the guy who's covering for Rodri at times at the moment, or what envisaged doing. Is he good enough? Probably not to do that role. In tandem, he's fine. As a pivot with Rodri is excellent, but doing it on his. And obviously there's a lot of credit with Guimaraes, however you pronounce it. I've not seen that much of him personally. I don't know if you've seen a lot of him.
He's all right.
Yeah, but
I would look.
The problem is Rodri. The problem is you can't get a guy in that exact position because it's the Calvin Phillips attitude again. Calvin Phillips problems again, isn't it? So you need a guy who's got a bit more, and Kovacic probably has. Yeah. That's why he's useful. As Guimaraes got that little bit extra, he probably has. Yeah,
I think creativity. Yeah, he's got that a lot more than Calvin. He can score a few goals. I think that's puts him ahead of Calvin. But then you look at it and say, well, we've got Kovacic. Why would you
What about Nunes? What sort of roles Nunes plays?
I was ask about him as well. So why would you need them? That's my question. Why would you need these players?
Unless he's unless he's one of these wow players, I don't honestly see the point just at the moment.
And the thing is, he's 26 and a half, okay? Just over 26 and a half years old. Where would that leave Nunes then? So I personally look. I think we're looking for an attacking midfielder because we were so interested in Paquetá. All those people that kept saying all season long, we're getting Paquetá, we're getting him in the summer, or we're getting him in January, then in the summer. I said, look, with what's hanging over him, this talk of him being permanently banned from football for what he's alleged to have done. So I can't believe. So this is what I say again and again. You've got to be careful about who you listen to. I'm not saying we're right and we're on the money all the time. You got to be careful about why people are saying what they're saying. And if you want, I've said the two types of videos that do well for my channel: transfer talk and finances. They do pretty well. So people are going to do transfer videos, and even when you've got night to talk about, they'll do transfer videos because they get a lot of views. That's it. Now, I remember years ago I did challenge somebody who did a video about Dybala signing for City, and I said that's a crock of shit, and the guy admitted it, but he has to put content out. But he got 10,000 views, so he made his money. That's all he was interested in. So you've got to be careful about what you see. And I just don't see, personally, Guimaraes either coming for 65, 68 million, unless Newcastle have to offload. And I just don't see how he advances us. Same as, I just don't see how he advances. He's not, in my mind, a proper attacking midfielder in the vein of someone like Paquetá, KDB, Foden. He's not. He's more combative.
His stats in the Premier League: he played 37 games and he scored 7 and assisted 8. That's his pure, which isn't it's okay, but it's And Newcastle weren't all right. They had their ups and downs, didn't they, again this season? And he's got 9 bookings as well. So I hate these. A bit like the other guy that I didn't like, Paquetá, who I thought was a little bit clumsy. Obviously, with 9 bookings, that's up there at level with our worst players.
The difference is Paquetá was apparently doing 4 of them deliberately. But so that's what I say.
I mean, and I think this, looking at those basic stats without looking at the player, it's all they're all right. But a City, a club who are going to spend 100 million on a player, I don't think so.
They did on Grealish, but the thing is,
no, this level, not with Pep. Not if it's Pep's last season. That's the problem.
Yeah, if it's Guimaraes, I look at him and say he's got that bit of steel. He'll throw himself around, so he's got that defensive aspect, and he's also got the attacking aspect better than Kovacic because he's got 15 goals and assists this season. But depends what Pep wants. Kovacic, you could argue, is more a defensive pivot. I think Guimaraes could be more of an attacking pivot. would you want him? But would you look to the future? Because, in another video, we'll be talking about KDB leaving next summer. So we do need to end up replacing KDB. In that case, Guimaraes could be another one. It could be not a replacement, because there's no one to replace KDB. But as I said, in some games where you want a defensive pivot, you go with Kovacic. When you want an attacking pivot, you could go with Guimaraes. But that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to spend. So I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about that with Guimaraes. Another one whose name has been linked, but not for this summer, because he's only just moved to Palace, is Adam Wharton. Now, I've not watched the England games. I've not watched much of Palace, but everybody seems to be raving about him, Adam Wharton. Now, when the pundits are really keen on what he's done. So he's a kid. He's 20 years old. 20 years old. He's only just moved to Palace for, I can't remember, about 20 million quid. And people are talking about for next season. But if he's a like-for-like, for argument's sake, replacement for Rodri, isn't he, if we get him, say, next summer, isn't that going to be the same issue? How do you dislodge Rodri? And would someone like Wharton want to be a backup to Rodri indefinitely? No. Have you seen much of him play, this kid?
No, but at 20, I worry at 20 because it's a horrible age, isn't it, for knowing what this guy's going to come on to. At Crystal Palace, I think he got 2 goals, 3 assists, which isn't his job really anyway. But it's again, that's 20-odd games. So why did he only play 26 games? Did he have injuries? I'm not too sure. Palace, Wharton.
Yeah, but he only joined in January, didn't he?
All right. Well, that was probably why I played 26 games. Then that's that's Premier League appearances. So
yeah.
So no, sorry. I'm looking at the Championship as well. He came from the Championship, didn't he? Yeah. He made 16 Premier League appearances, scoring no goals, 3 assists. But that's not his role, is he? He's central midfield, and like the Rodri sort of character. But I've not seen enough of him to say. But at 20, anything can happen. Anything can happen for a 20-year-old.
The thing is,
he'll be in the right place, of course, with Pep. But I mean, what he's going from playing, if you like, 40 odd games a season, he's going to go down to playing 20 or so. What's he going to? He's not going to like that. If that he's at 20 years old, he won't get that sort of game time, will he?
Do you end up getting relegated to like Gomez or Cole Palmer, bit part players, and then stifling your growth? I mean,
there's nothing in it. I don't think there's anything in it for him at the moment to come to City. Nothing.
No. Totally
apart from a year with Pep, but
I'm not so sure it's worth it. Unless
I will be watching England. I will be having a look at Mr. C. We'll see if he's what he's like. If he gets a game, I don't think Southgate will play him anyway.
I think the issue for Wharton is, what's the point of joining City just to be under Pep? And I don't. The report I read was City weren't going to go for him this summer. It'll be next summer. So I just don't see it. I can't see Palace want. I mean, can you imagine Palace getting rid of Wharton this summer, Eze and Elise? The fans would go crazy. So I can see Eze or Elise going, possibly both, but Wharton's just arrived. It's not worth his while leaving just to be a backup for Rodri, just to get time under Pep, which might only be 1 season. I'm not buying it. Last person we're going to look at, because we're going to do a separate video about KDB, is Joao Neves from Benfica. Do you know much about him? Do you want me to? I'll give you some information. Apparently, the report I read, I don't know a lot either. The report I read was, which is always a bit odd to read this, Bernardo Silva's trying to get him to come to City. Bernardo's leaving, isn't he? That's what we keep getting told. But that was the report I read. Now, a little bit about him. I don't know a lot, but he's 19 years old. He'll be 20 in September, so let's call him 20. He's about 5'9", 5'9.5", something like that. And he plays as a midfielder. Now, Manchester Evening News say that Bernardo Silva's, fires a transfer plea for this kid to come to City. So that's in. Apparently, he's been linked with United, but Bernardo Silva says he would like to play alongside Portugal teammate Joao Neves, as the Benfica youngster continues to be linked with Europe's biggest clubs. So he's had a breakout season. He has drawn attention from scouts across Europe, buying apparently interested PSG, even Man United. I mean, come on. He doesn't want to take a backward step and go to United. So,
well, he might have been a nice fan as a kid. You don't know.
Behave. I think Bernardo said it's not easy. He's a player who, due to the success he's had last season, has a lot of clubs that want him. Being Portuguese and a player that I admire, I would like to see him play beside me, but I want what is best for him. I don't, Pep Guardiola, I don't need to convince him. Neves has already convinced due to the way that he works and the energy he offers the game. He is not a cheap player, and it won't be easy for the clubs who are in the race for his signature. So, yeah, I don't think Benfica will sell him for less than 60 million. Because that's what they tend to sell, someone who you might not think is worth as much as that. Like Nunes, they sold him for a packet to Liverpool. They're always selling players for good money. So it'd be interesting, but he's young. But we've got to look to the future.
We tend to get guys like 18, 19 for 15, 20 million from South America or somewhere like that. It'd be unusual, wouldn't it, for us to go to sort of Benfica for this guy and spend as much as what you're suggesting there, because he's valued about 50, 60 million or something. So at 19, that's a hell of a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's turn my phone off. It's going to go every time someone's at my back door. It's going to go off. But the thing is, Ruben Dias, where did he come from? Do you know where he came from?
He wasn't 19, mate, was he? How old was he?
He's a bit older than that. I
was just going to say, there's a slight difference. I mean, we get 19-year-olds and farm them out, and we don't see them for a couple of years. So, again, he's been playing regularly for Benfica. What is he going to do for him? We're going to farm him out to Girona or something?
No, you can't.
Doesn't sound right again.
Yeah, I would look at things like, we do need, in my opinion, another attack, at least one attacking midfielder, because KDB's probably in his last season. We do need another holding midfielder.
Well, he's more a DM from what I can see looking at it.
What I'm saying is to properly cover for Rodri, because Kovacic isn't covered for Rodri. Absolutely not. We've seen him and he's failed. That's it, in my opinion. But all right, he's not played that much. But when Rodri was away, Kovacic was in, we lost games. So it'll be interesting. I mean, look, we're all in just at end of first week of June, 8th of June at the moment we're recording this. There's a long way to go in this transfer window. We'll be linked with a lot more players. And I think we'll get 3 or 4 players in. Couple big signings, important signings, and a couple of kids, half decent kids, not your 16s, 15, 16, 17 years old. But I think we'll get at least one half decent kid for, like you said, 15 or 16, 20 million quid. I think that's on the cards for me. And that's it. That's our little transfer roundup. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you can hit that bell icon, you'll be notified as soon as new videos come out. And don't forget to subscribe. You can catch Bernard. Where can they catch you, Bernard?
Anywhere, mate.
Everywhere.
Anyway, I mean, it's on screen there, guys. Go, you can put Citizen Channel or Bernard in, or pop up all over the place on Google. And, if you put Bernard in, though, you might still get Bernard Manning, so he's still more popular than I am. But there you go.
I don't think you want to be compared with Bernard Manning, mate. Oh dear. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you around those.